Grief is a heavy and vulnerable conversation to have. This platform is a safe place for all individuals to come share their life's journeys of surviving grief without judgment.
I'd like to welcome you all to the QT Surviving Grief podcast. I'm so excited for today, excited for this new year. We're now in 2026, so I want to thank you all who have rocked with us for the past year and a half. But today I do have a special guest on. She is a doctor, she is a motivational speaker, she's a minister, she's a life coach. I could really just go on and on and on. She's also known as the transition architect. And so I would just like to introduce you to you guys and welcome Dr. T. Carter.
Thank you, Miss Tiffany. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on Survival Group. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you, T. I'm so happy you're here today. And I know we're going to get into a lot of meaty topics and just looking for guidance. And I know you do a lot of work when it comes to women. And I think this is going to be a good time. So, T, I just want you to really first introduce yourself and just let the people know who Tiaka Carter is.
Okay, so we will, I'll preface it by saying this. I think titles and identity are connected, but not the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess we're just going to go right in. The Bible says that before I formed you, I knew you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so when you ask, who am I? It's really a question of who am I before the world told me who I had to be, right? So at the core,
Ooh.
what we are is we are believers who have been broken, and we're on the
Mm-hmm.
path to becoming, right? So I can get to the place called there, but
Yeah.
the way that people identify me is like through the title of mother, preacher, prophet, all of those
Yes.
things. But I think it's just critically important in the work that I do that we don't tie our identity to a title, because then when the
Mm-hmm.
title changes, you lose your identity. So I'm just old me,
Yep.
Miss Tiffany. I'm just here. It's me.
That's good enough. That is good enough. I'm glad you shifted to perspective on that too, because
Yeah.
you're right. We do think of, like you said, it's the title, but then it's like no, it's it's
Mhm.
not that, because it can change depending on what where we are. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. So one thing I did want to preference this conversation with, I know you are a as they call them PK.
Mm-hmm.
Your father was a preacher, from my
Mm-hmm.
understanding,
Absolutely.
and I wanted to ask you, T. I know we're going to get into some a lot of conversation today, but I want to know, having that strong foundation, as a kid, do you think that helped you navigate any of the challenges you've experienced in life? Been able to deal with them a little better? Just having that foundation.
I think it's definitely the anchor, right? And so if you think
Okay.
about a boat anchor, it keeps you from going too far away. Um,
Yeah.
I think as a PK, the challenge that I had as I grew older is that the Lord that I met in my
Hmm.
trauma was not the Lord that I was taught, right? And so there
Gotcha.
is this place where you have to reconcile that God is bigger, God is greater than what the box we may have put him in. I know my daughter is diagnosed with a mental health condition, right?
Okay.
And so it is just like, hey, this is not because of anything she did, but
Hmm.
I remember I was having a conversation with a family member, and I said, hey, if we believe that my steps are ordered, if this step
Hmm.
was written in the plan. And so while it may be a demon, this thing ain't moving. And so instead of naming it and claiming it, what we need to do is like get education and strategy. We do faith plus therapy for wholeness. And so I think that what being a preacher's kid taught me is to ignore what I
Hmm.
needed, because you are always on a platform.
Gotcha.
Right. And so you always had to
Mm.
be on, you always had to be full of faith and all of these things, which is fine. But it taught
Mhm.
me, I think, unintentionally, that what I felt wasn't important, that what I needed
Gotcha.
was second. Right. And so you have to go to the path to get back to the place where you understand that God created me to be more than this thing. And the best thing I can do for the
Mhm.
people that I love is to be honest about who I am and where I am in this moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That. Yeah. That's good. Oh, you said two things I was gonna highlight. So in a nutshell, you really had to work to develop your own relationship with God and seek that versus what how you kind of grew up and what you grew up to understand. So that's good to know. I've always wondered that because I was not a preacher's kid, but I know it's a lot of pressure. A lot of
Mhm,
kids I grew up with who
mhm,
were, so they all have a different perspective on this. So
mhm.
I appreciate yours for
Yep.
sure. Well, T, we're gonna roll a little bit into grief stories, roll a little bit into the pathway forward. So this next little we're gonna transition and shift a little bit. I wanted to ask you, I feel like of course grief is not about death. Grief is
Mhm.
can be you can grieve a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
So what I wanted to ask you was, what grief experiences do you feel like had a major impact on your life?
Yeah, sure. How much time we got? Um, so I think from a death perspective, I lost my father when I was 12. And then
Okay.
I also had a cousin who was the victim of a murder suicide outside of the church. Um,
Mm,
for me, I think it is, as I went through my divorce, it was grieving the person that I
mhm.
became to exist that no
Yeah.
longer existed. And sometimes I think we grieve what might have been, because
Yeah.
in order for this new version of you to come forth, you have to allow something to die. Right. And so if I'm
Mhm.
going to go into this new season, there's something I have to leave behind, which is fine when it's stuff I don't want. But what about the stuff that, I liked? What about the parts of, me that I had fun with and different things? And so I do think that it can also be betrayal. It can also be, now this one is
Yeah.
good, a prayer that I prayed that God didn't answer, even though I believed him.
Mm,
Right. And I grieve the fact that God, I was all in, right?
mhm.
And I knew that you were going to do this thing, and then that thing did not happen. And
Yeah.
so, and then you grieve seeing people live live outside of their potential, right? Because
Mhm.
what it requires me to release in order to receive is sometimes too great. And understanding that, you know, I was telling somebody, I said, you're gonna hurt anyway. Right? Whether you
Yeah.
decide to go, whether you decide to stay, it's gonna be pain. What you have to decide is, this is gonna be the last time, or we're gonna continue to run in a cycle. So I just think um
Mhm.
part of the challenge with like grief is that we don't always let it hurt so we can let it heal.
Mhm.
Right? The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Right? And so
That's right.
sometimes it goes back to my PK, I didn't feel like I had permission to be angry. And so I suppressed a lot of things because I didn't
Mhm.
feel like there was space. But they live in my emotions. And so it's just about the ability to accept who I am and what God said and where I am. And sometimes you grieve the fact that if I would have done this 5 years ago, if I would not have made
Mhm.
this one decision, if I would not have spent that money, if I would not have done this thing, then my life may be
Mhm.
different. But it comes to a place where I have to say, here, where I am now, this is holy. And even though this may not be where I want to be, the Lord ordered
Mhm.
my steps. He knew I would be in this place. And so I have to grieve it and let it go.
Yeah.
Did I answer
Yeah.
your
That's
question, girl? Because I went
yeah.
nowhere. Okay.
No, yeah, you definitely you was as they say in the Baptist church stepping on some of my toes because yeah, that does happen. I mean,
Mhm,
you know your life can change so quickly, and like
mhm,
you said, you said all the prayers you could say you did, but
mhm,
things still. So now you have to learn to move forward, and
mhm.
it's so uncomfortable, going through that. And so yeah, that was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that answer, T. So
All
in
right.
talking about that, with the emotions that come with different the challenges of
Right,
grief.
right.
How have you been able to center yourself and just kind of come back to a state of calm? Because you mentioned your father, of course, passing
Mhm,
away when you were young,
mhm,
and the whole murder suicide.
Mhm.
That just completely traumatic. So,
Mhm.
how were you able to kind of manage your emotions?
I think the issue is we can't manage emotions, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I think it's about honesty and integrity. And so,
Okay.
like, yeah, I went to therapy, but you know, I also went to the rage room. Okay.
Yeah.
So because I gotta let it, like, I cannot manage this. This thing is going to overtake me. If I don't
Yeah.
deal with the root of this thing, it's going to grow into something that I can no longer control. So I'm angry.
Hmm.
I need to deal with the anger. Like, once I identify
Yeah.
why I'm angry, and then sometimes, Tiffany, I've been to church all my life. Sometimes the church's response to your trauma makes you angry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That, like,
Sometimes. Hmm.
it sometimes it is well-meaning people who feed the anger, and so rather than
Yeah.
say you shouldn't be angry, I'm angry. I don't.
Hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't be, but I am. So I need to deal with it in the best way I know how. And I do believe in, I believe in prayer. I believe in therapy, but I also believe in being honest and saying, "Hey, right now I'm not okay." Right.
Hmm.
And so, how do I get this emotion out of me? Right. I go to church and I may feel okay for a moment, but if I go home and I'm still angry and I'm still
Yeah.
frustrated and I'm still depressed, what is the
Hmm.
next thing that I'm going to do? Because all things were created by God. So therapy was created by God. Hey, look,
Hmm.
let me tell you something. The rage room blessed me. It blessed me.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking I need to go. I need to go. See, we need to
Okay.
go.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, we're gonna find it. I mean, because sometimes, like, how can I not be? Some of this stuff is just wrong. Some of the things
Yeah.
that we experience hurt to our core, right? And
Oh
just
yeah.
because I love God doesn't mean that I don't have emotion. I'm still a human, right? And so
Hmm.
I'm gonna process this and get this out because if I let this fester, I don't know what may happen, but yeah, Rage Room. We go. I'm gonna find one. We gonna go. It's one in Murfreesboro.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
we
let me
go.
know. Yes.
All right.
That's yeah, that's good to you know. I'm glad you brought the anger piece of that because
Uh,
yeah, that's a major piece of what I've been experiencing. But like you said, it has to have somewhere to go. And
yes.
the rage room is good. I know people say, exercise and just doing something. Because like you said,
I
you
know
go to
that too.
church, you get home, and it's still, it's still there. So how are we gonna, because then you start having other problems, health problems and everything else. Because it's just all festered
It's
up
all
in you
bottled up. Yeah,
and it
because we
starts
can't. Yeah.
affecting you.
Yeah. So I don't believe that we manage emotions. I believe that we
Okay,
deal with them. Yeah.
deal with them.
Because
That's
do you
I like
want,
that
like,
philosophy.
you think about it, you have a manager at work. They're gonna be there every day. Every time you
Yep.
wake up, you want to deal with anger. Every time you
Yep.
wake up, you want to deal with depression. Every time you wake up, you want to deal with suicide thought. No, I want to deal with
Right.
this, and I want to move
Right.
on with my life. And so I believe that's what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Um. Okay. This is a good question. Now. Okay. So now I know you've been through a lot of different things. T.
Mhm.
Um. As grief can be very messy,
Mhm.
depending on the situation,
Mhm.
and when you
Mhm.
think about people,
Mhm.
gossip, just all the things that the negative kind of things that can really
Mhm.
come with it that can affect you. How have you rose above the noise of all of that when going
Okay.
through grief?
So what I had to realize is that peace is a decision, not a reaction. Right.
Mm,
And so
hmm.
in order to keep peace, I had to set boundaries. And then I had
That's
to
good.
discern uh,
Hmm.
what deserved my energy and what deserved
Yeah.
access and what didn't. Because generally the noise and the gossip is
Hmm.
below you, right?
That's right.
But it's
Yeah.
because I'm in such a heavy low place
Yeah.
that and sometimes for me, I agreed with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
Tim, we just don't go here. I thought I had a good marriage too.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and so then I have to deal with me, right?
Yeah.
But it's really just boundaries plus discernment and just understanding, like, hey, I'm not in a place to hear this. And
Hmm.
sometimes the people that's gossiping are your best advertisement
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
They say, did it? Some people come seek you out, Tiffany, because of what they heard. And
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah,
know,
they
they
do.
like, wait a minute. But I
Yeah.
thought they said that this, okay, it's for
Yeah.
advertising. So you realize that
Yeah.
it's for my good. And sometimes it's enough to push me. You know, and
Yeah.
sometimes you ever been in some place where you be like, all right, I'm just gonna stay here because I'm tired of fighting. And that one thing happened, and you be
Yeah.
like, oh, I know you lying. You know,
Uh-huh.
nah, I'm not staying. Like, and it snaps you back. And so I think
Back.
if you
Mm-hmm.
use it as fuel for your fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they talked about Jesus, they gonna talk about us, right? Don't care
Right.
about that.
Definitely. Oh yeah,
But
for
it's,
sure.
what do I say to myself?
Mm-hmm.
What do I believe
Yeah.
about myself? How do I feel about my situation?
Yeah.
Do I feel like I'm actually in the place that I'm supposed to be in? Right? Or do I feel some truth in what they're saying? Right? So
Right.
it's really about me. But I also have to believe, people just have to understand that peace is a decision. It's not a reaction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's good. I need to write that down. Yeah, because that's something I talk a lot to people about. Is not reacting.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what people want. They want a reaction. They want
Mm-hmm.
to, like you said, get in your good graces and see what they can figure out and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. That's good point. Good point. Um, so okay, after talking about all of that,
Mm-hmm.
um, what did redefining your life look like? Out of all the grief that you went through, you mentioned, of course, the divorce, the deaths that you have experienced. What did really, especially, I'm sure going through a divorce, I mean, you really have to redefine who you are, like really pick the pieces up. What did that look like for you? That rebuilding process.
Hot mess. I mean, let's just be cute. It was a hot mess, right? It was
Okay.
painful.
Yeah.
Cried a
Yeah.
lot. Didn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
But I think you have to like break it into phases.
Gotcha.
Because for me, the first one was honesty. For me to
Okay.
be honest with me about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that divorce is a death, right?
Yeah.
There's something that died. Like, I didn't get married thinking that I would spend 18 years of my life with somebody and then get divorced. But here we are.
Right.
But I have
Yeah.
to admit what doesn't fit, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have to admit whether it's relationship, a mindset, a habit. I have to be
Mm-hmm.
honest and say it may hurt, but
Yeah.
it doesn't serve me well. Doesn't mean that the person was wrong, doesn't mean that the experience was bad. It just means
Mm-hmm.
for where I am and where I'm going, this no longer fits. And
Yeah.
then there was the grieving process to just allow the loss to happen and not rush through healing and not let anybody else's expectation force me to act like I was healed when I was still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think after you come out of healing, you go into clarity where you're now clear about I've released what doesn't fit. Now what does?
Gotcha.
Right. So I know that that is over. Where am I going now? Who am I now? Who am I? Like, it's almost like when God told Abraham, now that you've left Lot, now look up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Look and see everything that you couldn't see before because you were so bogged down and tied down with something else. And then once you have clarity, there's alignment, right? And alignment is just about, I'm going to rebuild with the Lord with intention, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just going to be haphazard, but I'm going to take what I learned in my wilderness season and I'm going to help it prepare me to enter into the promised land. And then once I do all that, then I got to make a decision to actually do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So move even when it don't feel comfortable. Move when I'm not unsure. Because if you've been hurt, right,
Yeah.
and you have an opportunity, to experience something else, you also have memory recall about what if this don't work? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
what what if I try again
Mm-hmm.
and my heart get broken? What if I
Yeah.
try again? So you have to make a decision to say, God, I trust you even when
Mm-hmm.
the path isn't clear. Um yeah, so I think that is like really those are my like the 5 steps that I had to go through. And I mean it ain't easy and cute. And sometimes The thing now in number, because sometimes you be like, oh, I thought, oh, okay, I'm still here. Let me go
Mm-hmm.
back. So,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm not clear. Let me go back. Oh, okay, I'm not honest. I thought, I thought I was healed. Apparently, I'm healing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go back.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm healing. I'm not healed. So yeah,
Yes.
I think it's just like, man, but I think like, especially as women,
Uh-huh.
that's why it's important for us to put ourselves first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if I'm so busy doing everything, I don't recognize that I'm lacking. And if I don't
Mm-hmm.
take the time to sit with me, I don't even know who I am. So I don't even know what I want, So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true. I feel like I need to after this, I need to make a chart of the steps. That was good. I like how you laid that out. Yeah, I'm gonna be making go Dollar Tree, give me some
Be good.
posters
I
and make
got you. I got you.
make me
Come to the
some
house. I got
boards.
you.
Um so okay, last but not least, just this little quick section of the grief
Mhm.
part, T. I was gonna ask you, what would you say to the woman who you mentioned? We talked just a minute ago about
Mhm.
the rebuilding process. What would you say to the
Mhm.
woman that may be broken, that may feel uncertain about life, because of grief of whatever kind?
Mhm.
What words of advice would you have for her?
I think the simplest way to say it is that brokenness is often a doorway and not a dead end, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
if you're being broken,
Yeah.
what are you being broken for? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we are so focused on the pain
Yeah.
that we miss the purpose, right? And it's not always fair and it's not always right. And I can say for myself, if I knew what I was going to have to go through to get where I am now, I would have said, y'all can keep it.
Yeah.
I, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm all right. Just
Mm-hmm.
leave me over here in the, in
Yeah.
in Egypt. I just stay over here, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Yes.
it's not the end. Like
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it, and that's why I'm so passionate about this new the unfinished woman, because it's really about just because I'm not there yet doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm not gonna get there. Wherever I am
Mm-hmm.
now, I am enough. This
Yeah.
current condition is not my conclusion. And
Right.
uncertainty doesn't mean absence, it's usually an invitation. So, what is life demanding of you? What is
Mm-hmm.
your spirit calling you to? Right. And it may not even, you may not have the full picture, but there's
Mm-hmm.
something in you that's saying, nah, I don't, I can't explain it to nobody, and I don't have words to articulate it, but there's something in me that says I gotta break camp and
Mm-hmm.
move, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm going. I just know I can't stay here.
Here.
Honor
Mm-hmm.
what you feel. Trust yourself. Don't let anybody else's words speak louder to you than
Mm-hmm.
your own, because you too have the Holy Ghost. Like you
Yeah.
hear, So okay, God. And then when I'm in a place where I'm broken and I'm so like, hey, I believe there's a thing. I think I preached a while ago. Like I can believe that God is a healer and not believe that He'll heal me. I can believe that God's a way
Yeah.
maker, not believe He'll make a way for me. And so
Mm-hmm.
it goes back to the honesty that we're talking about before and say, God, I believe you have the ability to do this, but I need to be honest and say I'm struggling with our relationship because of what has happened. But I
Yeah.
need for you to help my unbelief.
Mm-hmm.
Help
Mm-hmm.
and surround myself with people who will build me up. Right? The internet, it's a great thing now. You whatever you need encouragement for, you can find somebody to encourage. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes you just gotta encourage yourself and just
Yourself.
say, "Hey, I'm just not so." But brokenness is a condition; it's not an identity, right? And
Yeah.
so, you will survive. You will move on. We gonna get
Yeah.
up. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's good. That's good. Okay, let me ask you this. Oh, so we're gonna shift into kind of like your career and purpose and all of
Mhm.
that. When did you enter the ministry, T?
So, okay. I was born. So I come from a line of like pastors and preachers, and like if you go
Okay.
home with me on my mama's side,
Mm-hmm.
honey, everything gonna everything gonna turn into Jesus. I don't care what we can be boiling water, and the water gonna turn into Jesus. But I think that,
Gotcha.
but when you grow up that way, um, I had a lot of resentment. Um, let's just hit it. So I had a lot of resentment when
Okay.
my father passed away because
Hmm.
why you take my daddy?
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
so and so don't even
Right.
know her daddy. He could have been dead and she wouldn't know nothing about it. Why you take
Mm-hmm.
my daddy? You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it was a church. It was someone in the church that said, "Well, God needed another flower." What? He need another flower in the garden, so he takes my daddy. So I think,
Wow.
and I spent years looking for the love of my father. Oh, I didn't know we was gonna go here. I spent years looking for the love of my father, and the church
Mm-hmm.
was not equipped to help me. And so while I used to have dreams when I was young, like three,
Mm-hmm.
4 years old, and I'll be saying stuff, and they're like, "How you know that?" Mhm. You know, because there was
Yeah.
no one to train me in this gift. But
Right.
so I think the point that I made a decision, like to take my shoes off and stop running from Jesus, it ain't
Okay.
been that long ago. it
Gotcha. Gotcha.
ain't been that long ago. But I think ministry doesn't start with a pulpit, right? And I
Uh-huh.
think
Right.
sometimes I saw something years ago. It says, your testimony is found where you've been broken, but your ministry is found where you've been restored.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so as you come out of certain seasons, you then see people that you can identify with because you know their pain. Even
Yeah.
though their path may be different,
Mm-hmm.
you know the
Yeah.
pain. Right. And so that's actually when it became a part, when I began to see women who I know that look. I know
Yeah.
you ain't sleep last night.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're depressed, right? Let me talk to you because I think that it's really about following presence, not necessarily a pulpit.
Yeah, that's good. And I definitely see you ever since we attend church together. Ever since I've been coming there, I've always seen that over you. Even before I joined back when I was coming in right after pandemic, I think I started coming pretty heavily
Mhm,
because I had moved back here. But yeah, yeah. So yes, that all makes
mhm,
sense. I appreciate it,
mhm.
T.
Yeah,
And it seems like you've successfully been able to kind of merge ministry with your career and just purpose. How did that merger? Do you feel like that helped you to identify your purpose?
it's like,
Merging that.
yeah, I think that for me, purpose determined my pathway in the marketplace,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
so, um, most people, like when they have a dominant gift, if you're really
Hmm.
aligned, what you
Yeah.
do also shows up in how you work, right? And
Yeah.
so,
That's true.
I deal with people. I just, normally I just rather be in my house by myself. I just be
Hmm.
comfortable. But I'm called to people, and so I think like when you embrace that, and it goes back to like the obedience we're talking about. When you say, "Okay, God," because the job I have, I did not want. I'm sorry if y'all work with me. I love y'all. Don't take this personally. But I remember they reached out to me, and I was like, "I'm not doing this."
Hmm.
And it was like over and over again. And for me, the way the Lord deals with me is that it will not leave. Right. And
Gotcha.
so I was like I was happy I was happy where I was. Right. And so it
Hmm.
was a leap of faith for me to go to where I am now. But I think, well, this is good because I was
Hmm.
saying to someone else, because they were in a similar situation with their career. And I said, hey, don't complain about a blessing that you don't get from a step of
Hmm.
obedience you didn't take. Right. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
and it was like a
Yeah.
simple, but it helped to align when I trusted God with my career to say, this don't seem like anything I ever want to do in my life. But it has merged the two in a way that allows me to minister in the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good to you. It's no more to be said on that. That was good. You got my mind like going. Like I'm gonna watch this back and just definitely take a lot of different notes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have chart paper like I'm at work. Probably. So let me ask you. I know you mentioned earlier about the
Mhm.
unfinished woman. So I want you to talk a little bit about that movement and just how it came about. What is? I know you have the podcast. Just kind of
Mhm.
what it's comprised of.
So, let me go back a little bit because it was part of
Okay,
my healing. So when
gotcha. Okay,
I think that when I made decision to that I was going to get divorced, I started doing Tea Talk Tuesday. Right, Tea Talk Tuesday was a part of my healing process because
okay.
it meant that I could not be stuck, and it meant that I had to declare what I
Mhm.
heard. And a lot of times it wasn't for anybody else. Like y'all just, well, that's fine, good for y'all, but that
Yeah,
was for me. That was the way
that's
that the
good.
Lord kept my mind and my heart. And so when I shifted into this level of healing that I am now, it's no longer about me, right?
I
It's
see.
about women. And so it's from the woman who is, because women always have a to-do list, right? And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, when I do this, when I lose 50 pounds, when I save this amount of money, when I do this, when my kids, then it'll make time for me, right? And it's always something else to do. And I remember um, when I started taking solo vacations because the Lord said, you need to learn the sound of your own voice because you're so
Okay.
used to just acquiescing to other people. You know, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to eat, whatever, and you don't know who you are. And so when I speak to who you are, you
Hmm.
don't identify with it because you don't know that person. And so um, the unfinished woman is just, it is going to be a movement. It's a lot coming, but it's really about watching people suffer silently, right? Who have normalized depression and
Gotcha.
anxiety and, you know, low self worth. It's really about a revelation that you can be unfinished and still called. You can be
Hmm.
unfinished and still faithful. You can be unfinished and actually have happiness. Right? I know that the Bible promises joy, but you can really be happy. That you can look in the mirror with all this chaos going around and say, hey, who I am is right now is enough. I, I'm going to create space for me because a lot of women don't make time for them. I was with the one we're about to do now. I did a
Hmm.
study and it said 60%, 63% of women in the United States don't even take care of their health. Not because they
Wow.
don't believe their health is important, but because they're overwhelmed with
Hmm.
obligations at home and at work and children, and they don't make time to make sure that they're okay. But the
Yeah.
best thing that I can do for the people that I love and the assignment that God has placed in my heart is to take care of me. And so it's
Yeah.
reshifting that narrative. Yeah.
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 That's true. I don't know. I'm just calling it a movement. It's very much needed. I feel like for sure. You definitely doing good work. I can't wait to see what all comes of it. I hope you have like a Bible study session, class
Ooh,
or
you
something.
sound like your first lady. I think she paid you. You need to call your first lady and tell
Yeah,
her that
I'm
she
gonna need for
owing
you to
you.
get a women's Bible study, women's
Help, Lord.
some kind of study
Help,
going
Lord.
on.
Help, Lord. We gonna help, Lord. Help, Lord. Okay.
But yes, that is
Yeah.
very yeah, everything you just thank you for explaining. I know I've heard a lot about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's just much needed. So many women
Mhm.
going through different things and really
Mhm.
helping to, change perspective and also just give insight into, what we do go through. Some people just don't have the words,
Mhm.
to say it. And so that's amazing seeking out that.
Mhm.
I like that a lot.
So glad because I
Um
be called on you too. So you ain't
yeah,
out of.
okay. We gonna pray about okay, we gonna pray about it.
I know don't be praying that. That's you ain't said pray all that. Now you want to say pray. No, we call it. Pray and pick up the phone because we go.
Okay, all right. I be ready. Be ready. What did
The
it
Lord's
say?
will.
Yeah, Lord willing. If the Lord say the same, all that.
Uh,
So it is. It was. I of course I follow you T on
mm,
the socials, and
mm.
it's a few quotes I just kind of want to touch on, and I want just a
Okay.
little bit of feedback from you about them because I
Okay.
think they're really important.
Mm,
So a few of your quotes, you had wrote, "Stop settling for who you were and step into who you were created to be." You kind of talked about what that process looked like for you,
mm.
but do you want to expound on that statement at all?
So I think it's just letting go of comfort identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the the boundaries that people place on you because it benefits them, but it's breaking you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so you stop settling because you so many women that I talk to, they know that there's more. But similar
Yeah.
to me, I knew that if I stepped fully into this, I was gonna lose a lot of stuff and it was gonna cause me a lot of pain. But how do I
Yeah.
choose growth repeatedly? Because with me staying in that place of settlement, I found myself dealing with like depression low key, right?
Uh-huh.
Because the pressure, ooh, this is good. The pressure to settle was weighing
Okay.
on me, right? And I remember I was talking to this gentleman I used to work with, we used to travel together. And he said when he found out some things I was going through, he was like, I told my mother when I met you that you were like a bird in a cage. You had all the ability to fly, but your environment kept you on the ground.
Mm.
And I said, well, why you didn't say nothing to me, son? But
Right. Right.
but but
Wow.
I think that like that is like and that was I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is like how many times do we
Hmm.
because I don't want to be like I don't want people to think I'm all that. I don't want people to think that I'm better than them. I don't want to think, hey, this is who I am.
Yep.
What you think about me, that's on you. But I have to
Yep.
step
Don't
fully
matter.
into who God created me to be because it is offensive to God for me to live beyond, for me to live below what He created me to be. So I would rather for
Yep.
you to be angry and God to be pleased. I would, and that okay, we stop it right there. Okay,
I
so
know
let's
that's
go.
yeah. Okay. Woo, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Boundaries. Don't push people away. Teach them how to honor your space. That's kind of what you was just getting
Hmm. Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Because
That's
yeah.
powerful.
But boundaries clarify expectations, right? These are the
Mhm.
rules of engagement. And I will tell you, hey,
Yeah.
some of my own family members got problems with my boundaries, but they your boundaries. I mean, your problems, not mine. Because
Right. Right.
this is how I protect myself, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I would love for us to engage, but every time we engage, I'm crying, I'm upset, I'm tired, I gotta go, take some
Mhm.
natural communion or something, just because I to have a conversation with you. It's not healthy. So if you
Right.
want to be unhealthy, my boundary is you're not gonna make me sick. So
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I will
That's
deal
good.
with you, and I will protect myself. And so um it's not about like how I feel about you. It's how I feel
Mhm.
about me. I have a treasure in an earthen vessel, and I can't just let you spew on it
Mhm.
and do all of this. And I can't do what I'm called to do for me, for my children, for anybody because you didn't and we all have they come and it's like all of this negativity, and then you sitting there in the funk.
Yep.
Like
Mhm. Oh
you
yeah.
gear yourself up like 2 weeks. Oh, I gotta go see this person. Let me
Yeah.
get my mind right.
Yeah.
Oh, I got,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing that. Like, teach others how to love you well. You don't get to
Yep.
love me any way you want to love me. If you
That's
gonna love
right.
me, you
That's
gonna
right.
love me this way, right? And if you can't love me
Mhm.
this way, then it's not love, right? And
Yep.
the only people who are upset about your boundaries are the people who benefited from you having none. Leave them right.
Uh-huh.
Tiffany, you gonna give me a
Yeah.
trouble here on this daggone
That's
podcast.
that's good. That's good. I've had the little experiences like that this last year, and yeah, you have to. I don't care who it is, you have to put up them boundaries, and because like you said, you don't want to be going down the rabbit hole, as we always say on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do, and
Yeah.
and then it's like you say, friends, whoever, like who you wouldn't expect, and it's just like, yeah, I can't.
And sometimes you gotta put a boundary on
Yeah,
yourself. Like I had to put some boundaries on me.
yeah.
Yeah, because hey, we're not gonna talk like that. Like we we
That's
we
right.
not we not gonna do
That's
this. Like hey,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
self, come here, self. Like that,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
Do
Get
that
it
self
together.
check, that self
Yeah,
reflection.
yeah,
Yeah, that's important.
yeah. So
Last one you had was elevation doesn't come from forcing outcomes. It comes from trusting God's timing. Um, do you have any tips on how to just build strong faith foundation? Because I think that's a powerful trusting God's timing.
Tiffany,
That's
what
that's
I've
pretty
learned
powerful.
is if you say, God, I want to learn how to trust you more,
Mm-hmm.
He puts you in situations where the only choice you got is to trust Him.
Yep, sure will. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's really about I have to become acquainted with the God that I know, right? Not
Yeah.
the God that I hear on Sunday, not the God that my mama told me about. It is really the
Mm-hmm.
God I know. And when I know that He's a good, good Father, when I know that He loves me, that His strength will be made perfect in my weakness, that no good thing will He withhold from me. When I know that it's all going to work together for my good, then I have to make a decision that says if He didn't give it to me, then it's not for my good. And if it hasn't, and if it is not worked out for my good yet, then it's still working. And so I have to release this time, like, oh, you got to be married by this time. You got to do this by this time. Maybe God want me to do it when I'm 60. Think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe God,
Yeah.
maybe, maybe I'm the one who's gonna show the other people that,
Right.
hey,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. But God, I trust your timing.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust
Yeah.
the integrity of who you are. You the same guy who delivered me before. When I was gonna lose my mind before, I thought I was gonna lose it all. I thought I was gonna give up. I thought this world would be better off without me. You kept me in that place. And
Yeah.
so I trust that the same God who did it before will do it right now. And you love me even in this broken state. Even if I'm angry, even if I'm depressed, even if I have anxiety, I not gonna force an outcome. I'm going to trust
Yeah.
your timing because the worst thing that I can do is like force something and get it before I get to something that's ready for me and I'm not ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it's a whole nother situation. So I think it's just about, for me, it was about releasing control.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
have to
It's
know.
we have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. I don't have to know because I don't know anyway. I made a whole
Uh-uh.
plan. A whole plan. 5-year plan. I had no
Yep.
idea. I know my little angel was like, this fool. If you would just
Yeah.
do what I told you to do today.
Yeah.
Like, God, give me enough faith for today. Like, let me just work this thing out today. I got hopes and plans and dreams, but just today. Because I'm 5 years down the line wondering what's going to happen in 2030. And we over here trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out how we going to survive the rest of 2025. So let's just,
Yes.
like that's just,
That is
yeah.
so true. Yeah, yeah. I'm guilty of that too. You make
Mm-hmm.
plans and you
Mm-hmm.
want to have so much control when at the end of the day
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta trust God.
You just got
That's
to
what it
trust.
boils down to.
You just got to trust.
Um well, see, we are on the we are getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to head out of here. I got a few more questions for you.
Okay.
Um of course, self-reflection is essential. We've talked a lot
Mm-hmm.
about that. We've talked a
Mm-hmm.
lot about life just constantly evolving and how we go through different phases of life.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of today about who Dr. T is? What are you most
Uh,
proud of?
that I can love myself at this level and still know that there's other versions of me that have not arrived. But to be in a
Mm,
place of self acceptance that who I
yeah,
am is enough, right? I don't need to
yeah.
prove. Oh, Jesus, it took me a long time to get here. I don't have to
Okay,
prove. And if
yeah,
you don't like it, baby, that's fine. That's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Some people like chicken, some people like beef, some people don't eat meat
That's
at all.
right.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. That got everything to do with you. But who I am in this place is enough. and
Yeah.
that brings peace, right? That I yeah, that's a peace that I have now, I haven't had before in my life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What do you do to keep yourself grounded just daily? Do you have any daily regimens or practices or morning routines, evening routines, anything like that you like to share?
I think it's you know what I learned? That
Hmm.
no is the same in every language. No.
Ah, yeah.
No, I ain't.
Light bulb moment.
It's like
Uh-huh.
my baby word. No, period.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I can you no? But
Mm-hmm.
no. So I think that helps to keep me grounded because for
Yeah.
everything that I say yes to that is not a part of what I should be doing, I'm
Mm-hmm.
distracted from what I should be doing. So I think the ability to say no without guilt is
Yeah.
critical. But I think also like how and every day is different. So I used to be like this
Mm-hmm.
very regimented person. Like if I don't do this and I don't do that, I don't know what to figure that. But
Okay,
I think
gotcha.
like,
Gotcha.
hey, but at some point in this day, I'm gonna spend some time with me. Like at
Yes.
some point in this day, I'm gonna spend some time with the Lord. I'm trying to work out, some days better
Yeah.
than others, but
Yeah.
take,
Yeah.
but it is like for me, like find something to laugh at every day. Because
Oh, that's
stuff is fun,
good.
right?
Oh, yeah,
Just take,
for
like, and
sure.
whether it's like people watching, laughing at yourself, watching comedy, something to laugh every day.
Mm-hmm.
But, baby, no. That's my new word, baby. No. Mm-mm.
No, 2020, no, in 2016 for the year. No.
No.
That's good. That
No,
is
period.
good.
Yeah.
No period.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, I know you knew Quentin and he was all into music. That was like one of his big passions. So I always ask everybody on this podcast if a song could be your life story, what would that song be and why? Sometimes people choose one, sometimes people choose two. But what would your song be
So
for your
glad you
life?
said that. I'm so glad you said that because
Yeah,
I think like from a foundational is grateful, right? Because you can't be grumpy and
gotcha.
grateful at the same time.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
but I think that there's a song I heard a couple of years ago, and it's called "The Policy" by
Okay.
Oral Provide. I sent it to you, but it
Okay.
just
Yeah,
really
send it to me.
talks about hey, there's a policy. I'm actually doing I'm going to release something about this. This is a policy. Like, hey, I got a constitution of me, and if
Okay.
you gonna engage with me, you
Yes.
gonna abide by said constitution. So,
Gotcha.
but I think that song, I don't think it ever like it didn't make it popular, but it was like the policy, the rules of engagement. Those are my two.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
you have to send that one to me because I ain't
Okay,
never heard it. I would love to hear that. Yeah, yeah. Last but not least, T, I want. Well, I'm gonna ask you two questions actually. One, do you just have any general advice? It's a new year. We're really working to elevate this platform. Just do you have any words of advice for moving forward in 2026?
I think what I would tell you, Tiffany, is to be clear about what you're called to, right?
That's
And
powerful.
the and here's the thing, and be open to letting it grow into something
Gotcha.
like the way that something what that we look when we're born is not the way we look when we're taller, it's not the way we look we're right.
Mm-hmm.
So to allow the Lord to expand
Uh-huh.
beyond what you have experienced.
Oh,
Because
that's good.
like I think I told you before, this if we as a people
Mm-hmm.
can learn how to grow out of grief,
Yeah.
a lot of our emotional issues will solve.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. A lot of our relationships will be repaired and restored. There's so
Yeah.
many things that at the foundation is grief. And it
Mm-hmm.
may be rooted in rejection or different things, but I'm
Yeah.
grieving and I feel like I lost something and it was not fair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if I learn how to deal with that and let it go, the person I become on the other side of that
Yeah.
is so much greater. And I believe, like, I cannot imagine, I think I told you, I cannot imagine the
Yeah.
hurt and the pain and the trauma. But we can't do nothing about what happened. But what we can
Yeah.
do is say, hey, because I had to walk through it, what
Mhm.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull back, and ain't nobody else gonna go through what I went through. And so this is how
That's
I
right.
make good. This is how I make good come out of what I went through. I went
Mhm.
through it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it almost took me out. But now
Yeah.
I'm at a place that I've conquered that thing. May still be hurting, may still be
Yes.
frustrated, but I have
Right.
conquered something that tried to kill me, and now I have power over it. And so I have the power that I have. I can now impart into others and say, no, 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 we're not going there. But I think there's so much like your trajectory. I told you even over the
Yeah.
last 18 months. Like there have been
Yeah.
times where I was like, you know what? And I said, if Tiffany can get up and do this, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
up. And you don't know how
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
people you inspire
I
just
appreciate
by
that, T.
showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that thing is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta keep even as tough as it is, T, like you said, you
Hmm.
do have to keep moving forward. And
Hmm.
because it's like nothing back there, like
Nothing.
it's not and now it's kind of like being in a tunnel. You can't it's nowhere
Come on,
to go. Like you
come
just
on.
really have to face it head on and
Hmm.
figure out what your new life looks like. And it's
Hmm.
hard, but it's
Hmm.
not achievable. It's
Hmm.
just just keep waking up every day, doing the best you can do, praying and all of that. Because, like I said, it's nothing this way. So all we can do is really just tunnel vision and try to figure out what all this newness looks like. So I appreciate them kind words because, when you go through things, you don't always see like your progress. Because someday I'll be like, I was kind of headed this way. Now I'm back in the negative, negative.
Healing, not
But you
healed.
always Yes, you pick yourself up and you keep going to the best of your
Yeah.
ability. But it's
Hmm.
every day is hard. I'm not gonna lie, but
Hmm. Hmm.
you just have to kind of get focused and lock in
Hmm.
and just know you got to keep powering forward.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I appreciate those words. I think that was a good word for everybody for on this
Mhm.
platform to hear for the new year. Last but not least, I want you to talk about anything you have going on. I know you have, of course, you used to do Tea Talk Tuesday,
Mhm.
now have the Unfinished Woman podcast. Can you just let everybody know how they can follow you and just all the things you have going on right now?
Absolutely. So I think the easiest way to follow me is on all platforms. It's going to be Dr. T Carter. And so we gonna launch in 2026. We are launching some things that I think will help women shift, like from stagnation into strategy, from confusion
Mm,
into clarity, from stuck into strategic. And so just Dr. T Card on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. The website is the same. We try to keep everything for continuity purposes, and then we will do a separate for the unfinished woman here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
cool. And then do you have the book still for sale, T?
I do. So I do have the physical book for sale. I'm gonna put it on the website as well. But yeah, we ain't even talk about that. When favor feels like a fight, because hey, and I'll just say this, like, the
Yeah.
only reason that Goliath showed up is because David was meant to be king,
Mm,
right? And so, but if I don't see Goliath as pathway to the promise, I see him as a problem. And so, what actually feels like a fight is actually God favoring you to get you to the place that He called you to be. So that's what,
wow.
yeah.
Ooh, wow. Wow. We're gonna drop all of T Carter's, all of your followings in the description. That was powerful, T. We'll drop everything in the description so people can connect with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
again,
you. Yeah.
Dr. T, for coming on. I feel like we may have to do a part 2 later this year.
Let me know.
Um
You
because
know
this
I'm
has
down for
been
you.
This has been definitely an hour of power, I will say. And a lot of the things you talked about are things I struggle with. So I will definitely be going back, doing my own homework. Some of the questions you posed today, answering those and really doing some good self reflection. So I really appreciate it again.
I
I do.
appreciate you. You know I'm down for you like four flat tires, girl.
Yes, ma'am. Well, all right. I hope you guys have a great start to the new year. And we'll be back next month for a new podcast episode. Have a good one. Bye. We hope that today's episode has encouraged you and helped to identify strategies to navigate your grief and begin the process of moving forward in life. Grief Tribe Healing Vibes. What were some key takeaways from today's episode? Drop a comment below and remember to like, follow, and subscribe.